Another question in the examination that you could be faced with is they could ask you to suggest or recommend how businesses can promote human rights issues in the workplace. That's a very popular question. Suggest or recommend how businesses can promote human rights issues in the workplace. I'm saying it twice because I'm hoping that it's going to ring a bell of something your teacher have taught you or something that you can remember that was significant inside the classroom. The examples that I have here of how they can promote, of how businesses can promote human rights is in the workplace is fair treatment of workers. We always start there. Everybody talks about fairness all the time. Fair treatment of workers. Not discriminating against workers. What does it mean when they say don't discriminate against workers? We're talking about things like you don't discriminate based on the language, for example. The next example that I have on here is not exploiting workers. What is exploitation? What is exploitation? Exploiting here would mean that when you expect people to do things that it's not part of the job description, but they are held to it and they have to do it. They don't have a choice. That's when you're exploiting people. 3 more examples that I have on here is that businesses should respect the right of workers to belong to a trade union. They have to pay workers fairly. So people don't get paid based on whether I like you or I don't like you, and therefore I decide to pay you less because you are not very popular, you are not my favorite. No, it's not based on that. So workers need to be paid fairly. Another way how businesses can promote human rights in the workplace is to create a safe environment for workers to perform their duties. How do you create a safe environment for workers to perform their duties? Everything that is in harm's way need to be cleared. Everything that workers need to operate, and here I'm talking about machinery in particular, they need to ensure that regular maintenance is done on machinery so that people don't get hurt, workers do not get hurt. The next one we're going to do is to suggest or recommend how businesses can promote inclusivity in the workplace. Remember we spoke about inclusivity? Inclusive of all genders, of all colors, of all creeds. No discrimination of people in wheelchairs, of people with disabilities. And an example or a number of examples that we can provide for of how businesses can promote inclusivity is that they can address gender discrimination. How do you address the issue? By appointing both men and women in all positions, not just appointing men and women to work at the company, but in all positions, and in particular in management. So women and men should be in management, not only men or not only women. Provide employees with equal access to opportunities for training and promotion. So everybody should be given an opportunity to go for training. In other words, they can upskill themselves. And when you upskill yourself, you open yourself up to a promotion. And so that's why it's important that opportunities be fair across the board. Appointing people of all races and all genders. And that is also addressing discrimination of the past, okay, where people of certain races were excluded. And so if they address that particular matter, then they have to employ people of all races and all genders. Draw up policies that address the issue of discrimination. And that is particularly very, very vital in any business if you want to hold businesses and people accountable, is that there need to be policies in place. So suggest how businesses can promote environmental sustainability. How can businesses promote environmental sustainability? And that's a good one. And I think we touched on that one a little bit previously. The examples that I have here is that businesses should develop environmental policies to promote nature conservation, pollution. They should lead to the development of alternative sources of energy. So if I look at that 3 examples already, it's quite big. Businesses should have policies on pollution and on nature conservation, and they should also look at alternative sources of energy. If I look at an alternative source of energy, I look at, the geysers, the one that we had to use electricity so that you can get the nice, lovely hot water to take that good shower or to wash the dishes, nice hot water. We now have the geysers that you can put the solar panels, solar heating, etc. Those are all alternative sources of energy. And that's remarkable. And that is the kind of thing that you want to see happening by businesses. The other example of how businesses can promote environmental sustainability would be materials that can be recycled must be recycled. So how do you make sure something must be recycled? You know, those big containers that you often see at your schools. They say SAPI, recycle, paper, etc. If businesses have those massive containers, that the one says glass and plastic, I think people would actually use them and ensure that recycling is happening at businesses. And this in turn makes life easier and helps everybody have a healthier and better environment that we can be proud of. Suggest how businesses can promote human, social, economic, cultural rights in the workplace. How do they promote social and economic and cultural rights in the workplace? The examples I have here are as follows. Respect employees' rights to work in a safe environment. How do they do that? Remember our previous example? We said by doing machine maintenance. Excellent. Businesses may pay fair remuneration to employees. So we said that. And that would be what? That would be what type of right would that be? That would be an economic right, absolutely. Employees must be treated fairly and equally. What type of right would that be? That would be a human right. Employees must be encouraged and provided with opportunities to further their education. What type of right would you think that is? I would think that's a social right. Cultural right would be freedom of association in the workplace, and then freedom to practice your religion, whether it is to go and pray during prayer time, etc. And those are all part of how businesses can promote human and social and economic and cultural rights in the workplace. And learners, guess what? You will have to know that for the examination. You should be able to suggest how businesses can promote those rights. Cheerio. Thank you.